And that's got some kick.
Hey guys, Brandon here with Texas Plinking. Just bringing you guys a real quick video over a new gun here that belongs to a buddy of mine, my friend Ian. Thanks for letting me make a video on your gun. He just picked this gun up just a couple days ago for hunting. And so this is the Savage 111 Trophy Hunter XP 30-06 Springfield. And it's only had 2 range days with him shooting it, so I'm excited to see what it could do. So sometime in this video we're going to go ahead and go to the range, go to 100 yards and 300 yards just to see what it does. But anyway, he just picked this up locally for about $385. I'll have to double check. He will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, under 500 bucks, and for that price it actually includes this Nikon 3-9 by 40 scope, and this is actually a pretty nice scope from just my one shot I had with it a couple days ago. But like I said, excited to get behind the gun once again. But this is a pretty nice piece of glass here from what I'm seeing, and you could get this scope into on its own on Amazon from what I'm seeing for just under 100 bucks. But the reticle is quite nice. It's got bullet drop compensation, so that's kind of cool. In the reticle, we'll probably end up using that. I like to zero it in at 100 yards. We'll see. It apparently is already zeroed, but we'll see what it's doing at 100 yards, and then we'll just go ahead and use the reticle, the bullet drop compensation at 300, and see what it does, just for shits and giggles. But hey, anyway, so we'll get to that in just a second. But overall, this is a very sleek rifle, weighs 8 pounds, has a 22-inch barrel. Overall, just a very ergonomic feeling rifle, very, very comfortable to hold. You won't get fatigue holding this one. This is a very, very sleek rifle. The padding on the back is like a Tempur-Pedic. It is so soft, but it needs to be. That 30-06 does kick quite a bit, as you will see later on in this video. Anyway, it has an adjustable AccuStage trigger. Overall, just a very, very nice package for the price. So yeah, like I said, excited to get shooting. But anyway, what else is there to talk about? So it's got like 3 different safety modes right here. All the way back will lock the trigger and lock the bolt. Put it 1 up, locks the trigger, but it lets you cycle. And then obviously all the way forward you see red and you're ready to shoot. Anyway, that's kind of just a quick overview of it. I'm already bored hearing myself talk, so let's just go over to the range and see what it does.
Alright, so we just got to the range, and so we're at 100 yards here, and I'm not sure where this thing is last zeroed at. So I have a target out there. Go ahead and put on the camera out there, so the DSLR, so you can see what I'm seeing. But so I don't know where it's last zeroed, so we're just going to go ahead and put 5 shots down, see where our grouping is, and make the proper adjustments from there. But anyways, we're shooting some Winchester 130-06 PowerPoint. So let's see how that does. Without any further ado, let's just get after it. It is pretty windy, but let's see what 100 yards does 30-06. Got to get used to that AccuStage trigger. Hold that one quite a bit. Let's try to center it up. And that's got some kick. This thing has got some kick to it. I'm going to go ahead and put the GoPro on the setting to where it'll let me slow the footage down just so you can see the recoil of this. It has quite an impact, but let's go ahead and do that. All right, here's our 5th and final shot. All right, there's 5 shots, so from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be fairly decent considering how much I was pulling some of the first shots, but it looks like it's zeroed pretty well. I'm not going to have to really make any adjustments, maybe a little high right, but I'll just compensate for that with the holdover. I don't think I'm going to make any adjustments. But now with that said, we're going to go ahead and go for a grouping on a different paper target now that I got my zero in. All right, just had a look at the target from just trying to zero it in and trying to see what I could do now. We're not going to go for a grouping, but not the tightest group on just that zero. I'll analyze it when I get home. But I blame that on myself mostly just because I probably pulled a lot of those shots. But let's just see what we could do. Go ahead and make sure we're rolling with the DSLR.
Cool. Hopefully these targets stay up. Didn't look too bad. Let's try that again. Starting to stack them now. All right, final shot here. All right, let's see what we got.
Okay, just picked up the target from the Savage 111, and here, have a look. So, through what I was seeing, these were my first 3 shots, and I was actually pretty happy. That's about 1 inch right there, so very happy with that at 100. And can't totally explain what happened here. Might have just pulled those. I'm not too terribly sure, but I mean, that would make it a total of maybe 3.5 inch right there. But I'm very happy with the first initial shots. I started seeing a mirage on the barrel, so maybe the barrel was just heating up and I was just shooting 2 consecutively. But anyways, there's that. So, you know, these could have just been me pulling it off for these conditions. Maybe it's just a new barrel again. This is only its 3rd range day. Not much has been fired through it. So anyway, things will get better. But I say just for fun, we'll throw it out to 300 yards and see what happens.
All right, so we set up 2 targets at 300, stacking on top of each other, just in case I got the bullet drop completely wrong. I used the compensation scope. Like I said, I really like this Nikon 3x9, but 3 to 9 is 9 magnification's not the best for 300, as you could see from this kind of scope cam here, but it'll do for now. You know, 300 is kind of pushing it anyway for the scope, but we will see. So I got the targets on top of each other just in case the bullet drop compensation is way off, but I'm going to use the bullet drop compensating reticle. Should be kind of cool. But anyway, let's see. I'm going to go for the top target, and if it drops, then it drops, but we'll see. Going for the very top of the top target. So we're going to get a 5-shot grouping like that. And we're just going to go for the very middle of each target, or both targets, just so we could get 2 different groupings.
Alright, there's 5 shots aiming to the top of the top target. I'm just going to go for the split line middle, and that way we could get 2 groups. Or it'll just be scattered, who knows. Alright, so there's 10 shots at 300. I try to aim at 2 different spots, so we could get 2 different groupings of 5, but it could just be scattered. Have to wait a few minutes for another ceasefire to get the target. And but anyway, let's go home and analyze our targets for today. All right, back from the range, so let's go ahead and dive into these targets a little bit more. First thing I did was put the target out at 100 yards, and don't mind these little holes right here. There's like 2 little groupings. I did a video on a 22 long rifle that will be uploaded in the next couple days. I did a review on that on the same day, but so I just shared one target while I was just making sure both of them are shooting where I want them. So this was just not really going for groupings. This was just kind of just making sure the gun was zeroed in or whatever, just so I could get an idea of where it's shooting at. And well, it's a little scattered, and mostly because the AccuStage trigger is so good it threw me off. It's a much lighter trigger pull than I was expecting, so really just kind of pulled most of these. But yeah, so anyway, just made sure I was on paper anyway. Then I started trying to go for a group, and here's where it gets a little bit weird. Let me go ahead and get down here. So I was going for that red dot there again at 100 yards, and these are the first 3 shots. This is the first shot, and one of these is second, and then third one I saw just right next to it. I was super happy about that. Had 2 more shots to go, and then, well, here they are. Not much I could really do as far as explaining on that. I did see the barrel start to heat up a little bit, but not that much. I mean, I saw a mirage at through the scope anyway. But, I mean, my only excuses I could really say there is, I mean, I was pretty confident. I don't feel like I pulled him that badly. I mean, that would have been 1 inch right there. It turns out now it's about 3, maybe 3.5. But anyway, new barrel. It's probably had still less than 100 shots fired through it. I believe right now it's actually at 60 total. Or possibly even less. I have to check with my friend. Now, here is where I stacked the targets at 300 yards. The reason I did that is I just did not know how much it was going to drop. So I just set it up exactly like this. And I fired 10 shots. 5 shots, I was literally aiming right there, that little hole right up there. And then 1 other shot, I was literally aiming right at the middle there. And so there's about 6 shots on paper here, so I could only assume that 5 shots dropped too low, I'd imagine. But the ones that I was aiming right here are on paper, the lower paper. So if I'm looking at 5 shots here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd imagine those are the 5 I shot while aiming up there, and then we have a 6th shot right here, probably when I was aiming for the middle there. So looks like it's dropping about a foot or so at 300. Yeah, I didn't really try to do any calculations. I'm just kind of going for just not really grouping, just trying to see if I could get on paper. But hey, we're on paper at 300 yards anyway, and I only gave it 1 go, or 2 individual times, just on 1 time. I didn't wait for another ceasefire every 20 minutes, so that's what I got there. But anyway, that's just kind of a quick recap. I'm a novice shooter. 3 to 9 magnification is a little difficult, especially at 300 yards anyway. But hey, you could definitely hit your target. So anyway, that's what I got. Again, 100 yards, and as you can see, my improvement from right there. So if I would have kept shooting at 300 yards, I would have improved even further. But overall, great rifle. Definitely has some kick to it, mostly because it's such a light rifle. But it's a gun that I'm sure I would be better at the more I spend time with it. But that was just a quick range day, 20 shots down range, and just thought I'd fill you in on that. But anyway, that concludes this video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.